question came in, how would you counsel a Christian couple about having a single adult parent who is unable to live on her own anymore come and live with them? She has been a manipulator for most of her adult life. This is a very important question, one that comes up. You've got a very difficult person, at the same time, she's your own mother or mother-in-law, and she's in a state of indigency or physical inability, mental inability to care for herself. What do I do? Where are the obligations? What's the call? And I would basically give 4 ground rules. These are not going to be the automatic answer. These are things to think about as you make the decision. First one is this, that it has got to be an eyes-open decision, and it is a decision that you as a couple make. There is not a single right or wrong answer. It's one of those things where the biblical principles, you want to say competing biblical principles, both come onto the table. And our job is not to say, well, it's 51% one and 49% the other. Our job is to weigh, eyes open, the competing calls and to make a wise decision. There's no thou shalt take in your mother and mother-in-law, nor is there a thou shall. On the one hand, one call is, this is your parent. You're her child. You're the one on whom she needs to depend, the 5th commandment. And that's a strong call pushing towards take her in. On the other hand, you've got, this is an impossible person, an enemy, a destructive person, someone who has consistently been manipulative, perhaps has been destructive towards your children. I know couples have been in this situation where the mother, the aging parent, actually would undercut their faith, would mock their faith to their children. And so you've got a reap what you sow and kind of principle that comes in there. And the call to care may involve having her come live with you. The call to care may involve trying to set up some other arrangement. Second principle, and this grows right out of the first, are you willing and are you able to handle it? And that's got to be a question that it brings in many different factors of willingness and of ability. It may well be that given who you are, given the family situation, given the nature of the living situation, we can do it. Or maybe you're in a situation where as you honestly add those up, you say, you know, we can't do it. And that's a matter of assessing who we are, our strengths and weaknesses, our assets and liabilities, our limitations and opportunities. So doing the hard thought and being willing to say, at the end of the day, am I willing? Are we willing? Are we able? Third question. It seems to me that if you're going to do it, you must go in also eyes open and prepared that it is going to be hard. You know she's a manipulator. You know that there's going to be heat in your life. There will be pressure. There will be situations where you will be stretched. You'll be tempted to anger. You'll be tempted to withdrawal. You'll be tempted to hatred. And so to realize that, and that the fact that you'll be tempted does not mean don't do it. But if you're going to do it, to recognize we are probably in for a season in which our marriage will be tested, our personal holiness will be tested, and by the grace of God, He will sustain us. We can grow through it. Final point. It seems to me that there are, I call them 3 forms of candor that are called for as you go in there. 3 forms of candid conversation with this elderly woman. First, clear candor about openly stated objective love. We are committed to love you. We care for you. And that candor, you notice I put the word objective in there. She's not someone about whom you feel warm and fuzzy. She's a manipulator. She can be aggressive or domineering or underhanded or sly or whatever. But stated up front, we love you. We want to care for you. Second form of candor. Candor about openly stating the problem. a willingness to openly state what makes it hard having her live here. The name the word manipulation, name it if there have been destructive things done in the past towards the children, grandchildren. So there's a context of candid love affirmed. There's a context of candid naming of what is the difficulty. And then the third candor is openly stated ground rules and expectations. That there are certain things that are simply not allowed, that she would be called out on. There are structures that we're going to put in place of where her time is, what time will be given, what are the kitchen privileges, what is access to various parts of the house, what are financial arrangements. There are many aspects where clearly stated, negotiated ground rules have got to be put in place. And by the way, you can hear in this how these are principles not just for the situation of this immediate questioner about an elderly and incompetent mother/mother-in-law, but these are true of any time when you're taking into your home in hospitality a desperately needy, broken, struggling, manipulative, hard to love person. These are things that apply in all those situations. And I hope that's helpful. Not a formula, but a framework that allows you to think through, make an informed decision before the face of God, and then completely eyes open and open candor, dealing with the issues that need to get dealt with in order to either go forward with a yes or forward with a no.